Councilman Littman, then I'm going to Councilman Haven.
Just a quick comment. If we anticipate getting anything started by summer, which is going to be difficult, obviously, at this late stage, but for the beginning of the coming school year, I don't think we could put anything together with Boys and Girls Club anywhere near that time frame. Again, nothing wrong with investigating it for the future, but I'd like to see something up and running as soon as possible. The more months that go by, the more kids we tend to lose in the community. And I understand this population quite well. I spent the better part of my working career working with teenagers in the educational field and working in psychotherapy work with kids. And this is a group of kids that I think that Pastor Lee's referring to that aren't mainstream teenagers. You can call them what you want, but they're not mainstream kids. And non-mainstream kids need to be handled in a little different fashion. The structure has to be different. The environment has to be different. The whole picture it's a different scene. Thank you.
And just if I could say something, we have been talking about a Boys and Girls Club for 7 years that I've been here, and we still haven't got it on. So it's how much longer are we going to talk before we start something? I'm sorry.
Councilman Haven.
Yes. Am I on now? That's the point. We've talked about it for 7 years. I'm going to, and I'm going to ask a question to you, Dennis. I think that with the amount of time you spent with us, I think that you have people in place that you can start this fairly quick. I mean, with the people and the support you have, I mean, this isn't something you just thought about last night. You've been talking about it for 7 years and pushing it. So I'm of the impression that if the roadblocks that you talked about are out of the way and the library's opened up so you could start some, I'm of the impression you can start something fairly quickly with the support that you get from the community. So staff, I have a couple questions. Do we see anything, any reason why we can't accommodate the request? I mean, I want to know what the roadblocks are going to be right now so that we're not 6 months down the road. We're going to start to address them tonight. Let's get them out. Let's get them out in the open so that we all understand what they are. If there's some legitimate roadblocks, I want to know what they are.
Thanks, Councilman. Ms. Hunt.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I just wanted to state that we will need some direction, but one of the issues that we'll have to deal with is we'll obviously have to get a lease. We'll have to deal with the insurance issues with the 501s. So, you know, those are things we're going to have to work on. As Councilman Littman said, it's going to take a while, but if we're given direction, if staff's given direction as to if this is the way the council wants to go, we can work with Mr. Lee. And then we'll bring it back to council to approve the lease and all of those things. And then the clerk may have some issues she probably needs to talk about.
Thank you. Do you go ahead?
The issue that I have is once we allow the youth center to take place in that center, where and how will we conduct elections from that point forward? Because it will become a problem to extend that building to the youth, and then also to be able to maintain the integrity of that building to be used for election purposes. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are things that we can also discuss. Councilman Haven, do you still have a comment?
Well, I think that those things can be worked out. I mean, those are, you know, I'd like to see the lease insurance. I mean, Dennis, you can put that together and staff. And I think if we're going to go forward, we need to start today. I think Dennis can get that information with what he's got set up, and I think that it's something we ought to let's either stop talking or just get some action going. And I think that Dennis is ready to go, and things with the election, all those things. I mean, I'll help move stuff so we can hold the elections. So I mean, I think that people are serious, and there's people that will help. Youth need help, so let's start the process. Just the talk's over. It's time to put the rubber meets the road. Let's get staff together. You coordinate with them, coordinate with us, and let's roll this thing out if that's the direction of the council. It's my direction.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Rapps and then Councilman Gus-Davison.
I pretty much echo the sentiment of Councilman Hafen. I mean, you can't start moving until you start. So we need to start. And the leasing and insurance is that's typical and standard in any business arrangement. So that's not something we can't overcome. as far as the elections go, they're not mutually exclusive. We have an election every, how many, 2 years? 4? So that's not a backbreaker. You just put a clause in the lease that this is available for election periods on certain time, and maybe get the youth to help. It's an easy deal. So none of this stuff looks like it's something that's insurmountable. I think we need to direct staff, I agree with that, to make it happen.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Gus Davison.
Thank you, Mayor. Dennis, I would have liked to have had that discussion with you that we were going to have. Unfortunately, we never got together. I never got a phone call from you. But I'm certainly in favor of something for the youth. There's no doubt about it. But I have some concerns. A lot of the things you brought up are absolute duplicates of what we already have in this community. And there's already been a great deal of effort gone into some of those. You know, now we've got Little League baseball, for example, and there are other things that are going on down to the rec center. There's things that are going on with the arts people, where they have classes for kids to learn to do pottery and to paint, to do all kinds of art projects that they have during the summertime. So we have lots of things. A little disturbed to hear that our kids are going downhill and they're not graduating. I thought evidently I was under a misconception that Mesquite had one of the highest graduation rates in the entire state of Nevada.
They may have.
The survey in Park County, I think our kids are doing well. So anyway, aside from all that, a couple of concerns I have on the building you want to utilize. We have a number of other, and this is a question I think I would have for our rec center people. We have quite a few people in there who are renting, although it be at a reduced rent, they are still paying to utilize that facility. And I guess I want to know from legal staff and so on, how does that affect us if we have one group that we're not charging anything and other groups that we're charging, and does that put us in a position where we may be compromised on what we're doing with everybody else there? I guess.
That's an open question right at the moment. I'll turn some time over to Ms. Hahn.
Thank you, Council Mayor. That was my exact question, Councilman Gustavson, that I had my light on. Will staff be directed to negotiate the payment as we are charging the other groups that are in that building? We just need to know as far as the lease.
Okay. That would obviously be something council's going to have to take a look at as well. Councilman Withover.
Thank you, Your Honor. I totally agree that this is a good project, and believe me, there's nobody that does more for kids in the city than I do. I'm questioning the location. Are there alternative locations, or why are we focusing that location tonight at first discussion? I mean, like Councilman Gustavson mentioned, there are extenuating circumstances to other tenants and how those leases are going to be affected, and all the extenuating circumstances. So I think,
may I answer?
yeah, sure, go ahead.